the record button and start. I just want to let you know that just enjoy yourself. This is impromptu. This is the first time I've actually sat down, so I kind of like this and I'm digging it. But I'm here for you guys, so you're gonna get a little of a backstory on why I'm here, who the heck am I, and why am I teaching you guys about AI and ChatGPT. What's that? I like it. I like it. So just as a poll here, who here has heard of ChatGPT?
I've heard of it, but I haven't used it.
Does anyone have no clue what artificial intelligence is and ChatGPT is? Because that's usually about half the room too.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of it.
I love this. I pay for it. I give it a check every month.
I think it's free.
Oh, it is?
We'll touch on that.
I have no idea.
We'll touch on
I
that.
mean, like, I've heard of it, but I know there's
paying
people
for.
that say that.
Well, hopefully by the end of the day, if I haven't scared you to death or overwhelmed you, you will get one or two pieces of advice out of this. The whole goal of this is to educate you and inform you. Just picture back to the time when the internet came out. Imagine me trying to talk to you about this system of interconnected computers that one day you're going to be able to talk to, and you're going to walk around with a device that will tell you where to go. I'm 50. I go back to the days with pre-internet, and there was MapQuest and ADC map, folks. We all can relate. Hell, I even remember when we had listing books come before the MLS. When I talk to the younger generation, my kid calls me a boomer. I'm a Gen Xer, but he thinks it was black and white in my day in 1974.
Well, when I started real estate, it was the books.
Yes, it was the books, and we did HUD ones by hand, so I get that. So
I have a hard time even now, even though I've been in this since 2001.
Well, I love this, but think about what you do now. You probably have a smartphone. You're using the internet. You have a GPS. So.
Unfortunately, yes. So I'd rather be the old one.
I was joking with her earlier. I said, "How long have you been in the business?" And we were having a contest as well. I got started in 1979. I was obviously 5 years old. I didn't get started, but my mother, being a broker, I didn't know any better. I was like, "This is a world." That I thought everyone's mom did. Walking around people's houses, shuffling papers. So I like to identify as a recovering realtor. As of May of last year, I went from being a Remax broker my whole career to making a lateral move during my midlife crisis into the title business. Now, I formerly worked with someone you're very familiar with, Amy and Diana of Lakeside. They're family to me, but I just had an opportunity to put myself out into the title world with this company, and I thought I need to get back into the world and talk to agents about something besides being a great settlement officer, taking you for donuts, and being a guy that is bringing you wine and things. So I thought I'm going to talk about something that I love, which is technology, and that just happened to coincide with what we're going to talk about today. Again, my disclaimer, I'm going to give you a lot of information. Take notes if you want. I will send you the slides, the links, and the videos.
So there is no donuts or wine?
I asked Kitty multiple times, and my last name is Baker. I would have loved to have donuts. I would have done it. I asked multiple times.
And you didn't bring wine?
I know, but realtors don't drink. What are we talking about? No, we'll do this again, because usually people want to do a follow-up class. Once they see the overview, they'll want more specifics. Let's make it like what I call appy hours. We'll talk about apps and smartphones and technology, and we'll have some wine. So I like to use the example of what the internet was back in 1996. I remember when my mother brought me in and goes, "Christopher, what do you think about this internet thing? Do you think it's going to be relevant in the real estate business?" And I said, "Oh, Mom, that's for e-commerce. We're never going to use it in the real estate business. Shoot me now if I knew then what I knew now." I like to bring the example of the iPhone. I am a huge technology nerd, and I remember when everyone was using the Palm Pilots and the Trios and Blackberries. We all had one, and the iPhone came out. Little did we know how the world would be upended. I don't think anyone in here has a phone that doesn't have a keypad. I'm the guy that goes to the mall and spends the night when the new iPhone comes out. I am the guy at 50 years old that has to have the next generation of every Apple product. And when I started seeing rumblings of this technology called ChatGPT, I started realizing, oh my gosh, we're in for a treat. And I wasn't quite sure how much of an impact this was going to be until I started really delving into this. So moving forward, I like to always begin with the gentleman on the right is Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if anyone in here is familiar with him, but Gary Vaynerchuk is probably the de facto expert on social media and the world we live in. And when he talks about something, people listen. This is his take on what he feels AI, artificial intelligence, is going to be, not in just our industry, but in every industry. And it goes back to the fear that a lot of people have, like, oh my God, what do I do? Why do I even try? We're going to end up just getting replaced anyway. I'm just going to quit. So this is his take, and I apologize, he's a little bit of crude language, but let me let you hear what he has.
And for people understand what I'm saying, here it is. Most people worked on farms back in the day. And then a tractor came out. And everyone's like, fuck that. Don't know how to find jobs. And then people found new jobs. So what do I think? I think you can have any opinion you want. Technology doesn't give a shit about your opinion. It's gonna do what it's gonna do, and it's not gonna stop. So if you do a job that AI is capable of doing soon, you should think about that. Do you understand I gave the same keynote in 1997? The analogy I used then was, look, if you're the top salesman or saleswoman for the Yellow Pages,
Remember them?
you might want to consider what
Penny
Yahoo
saver.
and Google are doing. So what do I think about AI? I think it's coming, and I think it's coming fast. And it's gonna be awesome, and there's gonna be certain rule changes, and humans have proven to me that they have the ability to adjust to the new reality and deal with it.
So why do I show you that? I show you that because the biggest complaint I have is how do I even compete? Here's my point, is you guys are not gonna be replaced by AI. You are gonna, however, be replaced by the agents that are using AI. And right now we're about a year into this, and this has been moving at such an accelerated pace. I commend you for be sitting here, because right now you're already ahead of the curve. Most agents aren't doing this, and at least you're here to get familiar with it. And that's what I ask, because I don't expect you to become an expert. I'm not an expert. I'm just a few steps down the road from you. What I want you to be aware of is at least the familiar with it, because your clients are going to expect it. The next generation coming up is going to expect it. And this is going to have more of an impact than the internet, the electricity, and even the founder of Google says more impactful than electricity and fire. And I'm going to talk about that now, and that's how much this world is better. So let me go and start with where I came across it. Was around Thanksgiving of 2022. I started hearing everyone on the internet, being the nerd that I was, talk about this thing called ChatGPT. What the heck is a GPT? What is a ChatGPT? I didn't know anything about it. All I know is I started seeing tweets back when we called it Twitter, and people were saying this is revolutionary, this is game changing, all the hyperbole you hear with new technology. I'm like, yeah. But then I started having my interest peaked. Well, let me start real quick with what exactly it is, and this will be the most technical I get. ChatGPT basically is a chatbot. It's your ability, like we're all familiar with, to communicate, use a text with an AI assistant that basically knows everything and anything about everything, and it communicates to you as if it was a human. Now, it's not a human. Better than that, it is your ex-husband, it's your therapist, it's your consultant, it's your coach, it's anything and everything. And what it does is the GPT, the technical aspect, is what they call generative pre-trained transformer. I don't want to get too nerdy, but what that does is it takes all the information in the world, every website, every book, every music, every song, every thing you can ever imagine, compiles it into what's called a large language model, and then the AI talks to it, does it really fast, and responds to you. So you can literally talk to it as if you were talking to your best friend, and you can talk to it as if it was the smartest person in the room. You can communicate it and ask it questions and have it respond in the way you like. You can tell it to speak like a pirate, talk like Jerry Seinfeld, be funnier, be longer, be shorter. That's the general premise of it, and we're going to give some examples of not only ChatGPT and ways to use it in real estate, but also AI, artificial intelligence in general.
So when I'm talking to myself, I could actually just be talking to this
I
thing.
talk to myself all the time, but what I will show, and I'll demonstrate at the end, is not only do you have the ability to input with your keyboard, but the new version now has the ability for you to talk to it and actually have a live conversation back and forth. And when you see the demonstration of it, guys, you're going to see stuff today that you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And that's all I'm here to do now, is wow you and open your eyes. But I wanted to start with something I got last week when I was at the ACAR convention. Somebody handed me the Maryland Realtor magazine, and I saw right on the cover, AI in real estate. And I was like, let me see what they're talking about, because I really wanted to give you guys some examples of what the Maryland Realtors think AI is going to impact you. So I kind of snuck this into the beginning. You're the first ones I've talked to about this, but I was actually impressed, because this is the IT director for Maryland Realtors. That is kind of what I just said, summarizing what I just said. Essentially, computers now have the ability to interact with us and generate content based on what they call the probability of the next word. So it's not a human, it's not a real person, but my God, it is so convincing. And we're going to touch on the problems with that in a minute. But one of the things I thought was the impact that what we as realtors, especially in our business, are going to be able to see coming forward with apps, technologies, and websites. And one of the things I was impressed by was improved property search. Now, Zillow's already implementing this, which I know is that we don't say the Z word, Redfin. But as realtors, you guys have access to huge amounts of data beyond just the MLS. You have detailed information about not only inventory, communities, and customers, but often you guys are also forced to manually bring together and assemble multiple sources based on your 20 years of experience, the hard-won knowledge of different types of loan programs, the market, individual properties. But consider the following request. This is going to be happening sooner rather than later, that a client's going to come to you and ask you for something. They're just going to say, hey Chris, I need a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house for under $600. I want a kitchen with dark cabinets, stainless appliances, have a large window above the sink. The stove should be gas. I need to be less than 20 minutes from home, mom, 30 minutes from work, and walkable to the local elementary school. And the schools are also should be good. So you're going to talk to the AI through your app, through your website, through your MLS, where you can say something as specific as this, and it will be able to determine that, because remember, it can analyze vast amounts of data like that
And it's going to make
respond.
a house.
And it's going to make
there's
a
nothing.
I know.
Affordable.
I mean, and then it's going to also start doing automated listing generations, which is interesting because Redfin's already doing this. But by basically AI is going to be able to quickly detail listings. We're all now doing it, and we'll demonstrate where agents are doing their listing remarks, which is kind of fun. I know when I used to do it, I would go back to the prior listing history, steal that agent, put it in mine, tweak it, and look great. There's no plagiarism in real estate. Now, you can do this with the help of AI. And if anyone's not doing this right now, this is the easiest thing, but it's the most popular. But think of this, moving forward, these tools are going to be able to add additional listing data that you aren't currently aware of, such as tax data, nearby points of interest, and even photographs. Personalized high-end marketing is going to be the next big thing with real estate in terms of setting yourself apart, especially in light of all the lawsuits and branding yourself and setting yourself apart. But things like social media can provide deep insights into a customer's preferences, paving the way for what we call micro marketing strategies, and ultimately leading to what we call an era of massive automated personalization. Your high quality marketing right now that's being tied to bigger brands and broader audiences is now going to be tailored to the individual. As realtors, you're going to be able to enhance your engagement and your relevance to the market and set yourself apart. You're going to have things like personalized media campaigns, multi-touch email, social media, posts, flyers, brochures, newsletters, phone calls, and even video, all done with these like Siri and Google searches and Alexas. You'll be able to just talk to your phone and it will generate all this stuff. The same thing with AI assisted visualization. Imagine a point in time where clients that are now on the fence about buying a property because they don't like the paint, maybe they don't see the vision of what the house could be. Now with AI, you're going to be able to say, okay, I want you to take that, get rid of all the debris, make the house this color, maybe put the backyard here, put a pool here, and you're going to be able to talk to it and generate images of what the house could look like. So there's buyers on the fence that are like, I don't know about that, I can't see the vision. You're not going to be the experts that are using this, and it's available, and I'm sure there'll be a fee, we'll be able to do that. And then of course with digital assistants, I remember when Siri came out, it's still a joke, but we all probably have Alexas in our houses. We all probably have Google Voice. 13 years ago is when Siri came out, and it still stinks. This is the year that everything changes. What we're going to have now built into our phones, just like you have with Amazon Alexa and with Google, is your ability to have real-time conversations with the AI, and it will be imperceptible from a human. You will not be able to tell. I like to use the example of coming home and saying, hey Alexa, I've got a sleepover with 5 teenage boys, 2 are lactose intolerant, I have a budget of $100, I want you to get me some food and ideas in order, and then Instacart send it to my house, and I'm just going to talk to it. Or you're going to do it with your phone. You're like, all right, the client's going to be able to walk into the door with their thumbprint, open the lockbox, go in there, I like this house, retinal scan, it'll basically tell them, show them a virtual tour, contract will be automatically generated, blockchain and crypto will buy. These are the things that are happening. We're a little far off, but having a built-in digital assistant is going to be really cool. So imagine these. You just walk in, hey Google, put together 5 comps for the Poplar Way house and text it to me, Tina the Roger Smith for discussion. Also include the tax records, or even go even further. Have it put together the offer and email Faye Jones at KW and add the escalation clause. You're just going to be able to say it into your phone or your computer or your smart device, whatever it is that's out there. And this is happening sooner than later. So I'm just getting you guys thinking this is what the article is talking about. I wanted to summarize that before we went any farther. So here's back to what we were talking about. A large language model is just all the data in the world put into a database that the AI communicates with. Trillions of websites, books, articles, and data sets now at your fingertips. Now, unlike Google, where we all have access to, we can do our little search, AI is beautiful because you can have a conversation. And that conversation can continue, you can come back to it and reference it, and if you don't like the way the conversation's going, you can just tell it. You can't do that with Google. You do your search, you find maybe or not, and then you gotta start over, and you're like, where's that site? With AI, it remembers you, and it remembers that you're Chris Baker, former agent, worked as a title agent, now likes to teach classes. He has a wife who's from Poland, and it remembers this stuff. So any conversation I have, it remembers. It's kind of scary. It's like having an ex-spouse or ex-boyfriend. But I do want to talk about my favorite part, which is hallucination. This is the term that's being used for the possibility, very likely possibility, that this is so convincing that it will convince you something is true when in fact it's not. And the reason I bring this up is because there are currently 2 attorneys right now being disbarred for referencing case law that did not exist. They didn't know so it can fool you. But in real estate, we have fair housing, we have ethics, we have guidelines. You can lose your license, you can go to jail. And I've seen people do listing descriptions and say, oh, look at this, and it looks wonderful, and they fail to realize that the AI added a bathroom or maybe added a fireplace or did something. Do not let this just do the work for you and you paste it. Let it be the author, but you be the editor. And when I say ChatGPT, there's also Google Gemini, there's Claude with Amazon. There are tons and tons of AI out there. Use them all.
Which is the one that just recently had the problems with like a Black George Washington?
That was Google Gemini.
Google.
And for those, what he's mentioning is that it was discussing the founding fathers, and it was like it had a real problem with Caucasian individuals. So all the founding fathers were ethically diverse, which I can understand they want to promote. But when George Washington was African American and Thomas Jefferson was Indian, like people are like, what's happening here? But that's an example. But I just want to point out that you want to use the tools, but just be careful because, and I don't know if you want to open the door because it's getting a little stuffy in here. I'm full of hot air. But this is when I knew it was serious. Back when this started, Microsoft, who's always been in competition with their existence with Google, said, we like this concept so much that we are going to invest $10 billion. The world took notice and said, what is this OpenAI? This is the company that founded ChatGPT, and we're talking about ChatGPT because it was the one out the gate first. It's the most popular. It's the one that's been most utilized. It's not the only one out there, and there are tons of them, but it's the one I'm most familiar with. That's why we're going to talk about that today. This is when I got my attention peaked, is when I thought, how long did it take for ChatGPT to get to 1 million users? Now remember, this is about a year and a half ago. And I just got some statistics to just give you a premise. So if you were to think about it, we all have Netflix or Spotify. These are the times it took even Facebook to reach 1 million users. If anyone had to guess, ChatGPT, 5 days. 5 days it took. This is how long it took to get to 100 million users. And to give you perspective, they're currently at 3.5 billion people using it. This is the fastest growing technology in the history of mankind. Nothing like it has ever been seen on planet Earth, and nothing will. And back to my point, this is going to it's currently revolutionizing not just real estate, but every industry. So Google products, Uber took 70 months, Telegram 61 months. It took Spotify 55 months to reach 100 million, Pinterest 41 million, TikTok, Instagram. It took ChatGPT literally 2 months. So guys, if it hasn't gotten your attention by now, this is not going anywhere. This is what they're expecting it to estimate the impact on the economy. Again, this is laughable. I gotta update this. It's already at $5 trillion. And when I show you some of the things it can do, every industry is being impacted. And the people that thought, oh, it'll never impact human art and music and creativity, it's almost laughable. Those were the first ones being wiped out. I have yet to pay for any art. Every image you see has been automatically generated with AI. I can do artwork. I can do music. I can replicate your voice. I can replicate your sound. I can bring back artists. I can do things that you cannot believe, and we're only scratching the surface. So when I knew it had passed the bar exam, the MCAT, and the SAT, I started to take notice. Judges are using it to interpret case law, and legislators are using it to write law. Google, with their Palm database, is now using it for medical diagnosis. It is actually achieving 99% accuracy with cancer diagnoses because it has access to every scan and every paper ever written on medicine, whereas your doctor has one mind, one set of experience. Now they have the ability to analyze data that the human eye can't see, and I believe there are going to be a point in the future where you will be considered medical malpractice if you're not using this, because how can one person compete with the entire universe? We'll see. It's outperforming doctors. Again, this is Google announcing on their news that their Google's LLM is doing it, and that just piqued my interest. This is an example of me just using the software as an example. I thought, what do real estate agents like to do? Well, they probably want to use it for social media. They want to use it for listings. They want to generate social media content. Heck, some of them want to use it for making videos. I thought, what? This is not possible. So I literally, using a built-in feature of ChatGPT called InVideo, I went to it and I said, make me a video about the pros and cons of real estate. I want the guy to sound like that English guy, David Attenborough from all the nature documentaries, and I want an upbeat music, and I just hit go, and in 30 seconds, this video came out.
Could AI become the greatest tool or the biggest threat in the real estate industry? As we stand at the intersection of technology and property, the role of artificial intelligence sparks both promise and apprehension.
And I won't make you watch the whole video. Imagine the power though, guys. You can generate video content for those that don't have the time, the knowledge, the skill set, or experience. I can show you in a matter of seconds, you can make videos. Now that use stock footage, and obviously if you wanted to do you can change the images and the music, but it's astounding that you can do that in a matter of seconds. And of course, realtors, being who we are the first ones to adapt to the technology. And this was an article from CNN saying how agents can't live there. And this was, what was that, January of 2023? Imagine what people are doing with it now. So what are we gonna talk about today? Is how are you guys gonna be able to use it in real estate? I like to start with first, making sure you have an account. For those that don't have an account, it's free to do. You can visit the website, you can Google it, just type in ChatGPT, you can sign in with a Google account, your email, or so forth. Now, a lot of this I'm talking about today, you can do for free. If you are interested, there is a paid premium tier, which I will emphasize you to consider. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. I don't make a commission, but when I start showing you some of the things you can do, you're gonna wanna consider it. And just so you know, it's $20 a month, $120 a year. It's worth it. Some of these other services we're gonna talk about might be additional fees, but in terms of ChatGPT, the benefit to having the paid versus the free, other than speed and relevance and answers, it might be something you wanna consider. When you get to the website, and we could do some examples at the end, I just want you to be familiar with the left-hand column are all the conversations that you've had, the prompts, which is what they call it, the questions, and then you have the axis here where you're actually gonna type. The beauty of the software is anytime you come back to a conversation on the left, it'll remain over there until you delete it. It will remember every response, every question, every interaction, and it's wonderful when you can go back and go, oh my gosh, I know I was talking about a recipe, and the other day I was talking about a love poem I was writing, or agent I was talking to. It will remember it, and that's great. So here we're gonna jump into one of my favorite ways that agents are using. I've been sharing this recently because I learned this from Tom Ferry, who you may be familiar with, is a huge real estate trainer. This is all he talks about. When I saw him and Jimmy Burgess talking about it, who's a big Berkshire agent out of Florida, I thought, I'm gonna put this into my presentation. This is what his suggestion is to do. All of us go on listing appointments. How are you setting yourself apart? We all usually do the 3 Ps. We put a sign in the law, we put it in the MLS, and we pray. What else are you gonna do to make yourself stand apart, especially with the competition and technology that agents are encountering right now? He said, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna use AI, and again, you can do this free, and you're gonna say, all right, I'm going on a listing, and I want you AI, and I refer to her because she is a woman and she is smarter. So when I talk to ChatGPT, I ask her to generate, based on the address of the property I'm going to, you can pull the last tax records, maybe you can pull a prior listing. You grab that listing, and in my example, I grabbed it right from Zillow. This was just one I did an example. And I copied the remarks, I copied the amenities, the bedroom, the bath, and I went back to ChatGPT and I said, look, I want you to do 3 things. I want you to generate 3 listings, 1 professional, 1 luxurious, and 1 conversational. And I said, I then want you to take the first one and grab that information that I stole from the Zillow website, and I want you to generate the 3 styles of conversation. ChatGPT in 2 seconds, no problem, I will do that for you. So right there, I'm like, okay, that's nice, now I've got my listing remarks. Well, I take it a step further, because social media is where it's at. I want you to now, ChatGPT, to please, and by the way, be polite, it works, I don't know why, but when you talk to her nice, she responds great. I want you to generate me 3 Facebook posts, 1 professional, 1 luxurious, 1 conversational. Oh, by the way, do you mind throwing in some hashtags and emojis? Could you have done this? Yeah. Could I? Yeah. How long would that have taken you? 10 seconds. So I'm now a grand total of less than a minute in, and I've already generated this, but we're not done. I then want you to take that, and I want you to convert it into a SEO optimized, hashtag relevant, emoticon Instagram post with the 3 conversational pieces. So now I'm already starting to cover half of my social media base, but I'm not even done, because now I'm gonna have it generate a 1,000 word or less SEO optimized LinkedIn article based on the information it's already generated. And then finally, I'm gonna have it generate a script for YouTube for those that are comfortable with video, and we're gonna talk about that. It will generate the script on what to say, how to shoot it, what to do, And now you walk into the seller's house and you say, Mr. Seller, I just want to let you know I like to set myself apart. I'm different from other agents. I'm going to do all this other stuff in addition to the value in me. I've already taken the opportunity to present to you an SEO optimized Facebook, Instagram. They're going to go, what? And you're going to immediately set yourself apart from other agents. So if you learned anything today, that took you 2 minutes to do, and it makes it easier. Again, I just like to get that out of the way because I was blown away. And agents that are using this are swearing by it. Any questions on any of this so far? All right, I haven't even begun to get into it. We're at slide 56 of 186.
I'm like,
I told you guys,
how you
right?
doing?
I will show you that. Remember, let's see it and then we'll talk. So this is Jimmy Burgess. He is from Berkshire, out of Penn, Florida. This is why I brought him up, is because, guys, do you know what RPR is? Realtor Property Resource. All of you have access to it. It is free for people with your NERDS and RDS number. I use it all the time, and I loved it because it generated those wonderful reports, but the reports were sometimes overwhelming. Do you do a property report, or a seller report, or a school report? And people are like, oh, this is all great, but I just spent $150 on paper and no one looks at it. Well, guess what? With RPR, you can do what I just did with ChatGPT, built right into the program, because this is tied right to the MLS. It has all the data, it has all the market stats, it has all the info. You can do it right from in here. So I'm going to let Jimmy Burgess talk about it so you can see a demonstration in real time of how he does it.
Screen, I'm going to show you exactly how to see this. So we're going into this, and we're on the RPR main page, and we're going to go up to the research portion up top here, or you can see this tab that we'll click, and we're going to click on residential market trends. That's going to take us to this page where we have the ability. I'm just going to utilize R32459. That's the zip code we service in. And what's going to happen is it's going to give us all these reports. But if you'll notice right up here to the right, you'll see this Create Script tab. Now, when we click that Create Script tab, this is where the AI comes in. It's going to take us to the next page, and it's going to give us the ability to choose our tone on what we're looking for: professional, engaging, or something that's conversational. And also, we can address whether we're wanting this to be directed at buyers and sellers, buyers specifically, or sellers specifically. Next thing we're going to do is this tab down here, we're going to click this social campaign, and here's what's going to happen is all of the details of the entire market of what's been going on, the statistics wise, is going to convert this to an SEO optimized social media post that gives us the ability with, it's going to have hashtags, it's going to have the emojis, and it's going to have something. Now, I would encourage you with all of this, anything you're doing with AI, make sure you change it up a little bit and you put it in your own words. But now what's happened is you've got a complete social media ability to post something that has all of the market details. It gives you a detailed report, and you've utilized AI to give it to you in a way that is easy for you then to have the ability to transfer that in. The next tab, we're going to go back up there. Instead of clicking on the social campaign, we're now going to click on Analyze Metrics. And what you'll see here is this is giving this to you in the form of a blog post or something that is more written. This could be for LinkedIn. Again, modify this to be in your voice, but you've got all the statistics on what's going on in your local marketplace that's already organized to you in just a few clicks. And last but not least, create video blog or create video scripts on the next tab. This is going to give us a script. Again, put this in your voice, but you've got a video script now where you can absolutely give an update on your current market with all that. And if you have trouble reading your script, remember what we just talked about? Just print up what you have right here, take it, put that post up, read that script, move it into the captions app. You got that eye contact you were looking for, and now you got something you can really work with. All right, next up.
So guys, the market's screaming for this. What do you say when someone says, what's the market doing? How's the market? Interest rates are going, there's no inventory, blah, 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 blah. We all hear the same thing. How about if you're the person that puts out a video every day and talks about the market stats? Or if you're not comfortable on camera, you at least put out relevant content. You now have a tool. The general public doesn't have this. And the reason I bring that up is because ChatGPT, if you do not pay for it, you are limited to the data it was trained on, which stopped in April of 2023. So if you want to do a market update or real estate stats, guess what? I'm sorry, we don't have the data. If you pay for it, it will say, hold on, it goes out to the internet, gets that data, and we'll bring that in. So there is a value to having the paid version. But when you have RPR, which is dedicated for realtors and only realtors, guys, the tool is right there for free. And I can show you how to do that. Here's another thing I like to make sure you guys are aware of realtors. We all know what Google is, but do you know that Google.com has Google Trends, where you can go in real time at any point you feel like it, based on the current snapshot of what people are searching for. You can use it by area, demographic, city, maybe you have a neighborhood, a house. Play along with this. I'm astounded that people aren't using this more, because you can see what's hot, what's in the zeitgeist, what's trending, and then you could take that and go, okay, people are talking about short sales, or people are talking about interest rates. You could go back to AI and ask AI to generate content based on that topic, and guess what's going to be pushed out to Google more. The trending tab that you're talking about, and guess who's going to be recognized, relevant, and rewarded? I just made that up. I like that. It came out pretty good. For people that are using Google. Here's another tip that Tom Ferry was talking about. When you do a Google search, we're all familiar with getting the answer at the top, but you always notice down here, people also ask, well, guess what your buyers and sellers are seeing? Why don't you be that agent that gets, what's a first-time home buyer look for? What's the difference between closing costs and down payment? Top 10 things sellers look for in selling their house. And when you ask those questions, you take these questions that are affiliated with that, and maybe you make a 1-minute video or a blog post, and you send that out. Oh my goodness, you're gonna be the agent that's gonna start ranking in Google because you're using AI to answer the questions, tell you what to say, and how to film it. Again, just an idea. Maybe you don't want to do that, but the agents that start taking hold of this, I don't know how much longer before everyone's doing this, but it will set you apart as the realtor that people remember. Now, Marky Lemons was an agent that I saw, a broker out of Chicago, that taught me a lot of what I've been watching. And she, as a 54-year-old realtor, basically says, I had to adapt or die. And she saw the value in ChatGPT, and she said, I use it to replicate and create content. And her shtick was, look, if you want to make $100,000 a year, you have to put out 32,000 words of content. I went, what the hell? How am I going to do that? I was thinking, that's impossible. Who has time for that? And if you want to make more money, you got to do double that. Well, she said, guys, let me first start off and talk about this is not content. We are all guilty of this. Everyone in this room has taken a photo probably of someone and they said yes to the house. I'm at the settlement table taking pictures. I'm laying on the table, whatever we need to do to get people to remember. I'm not frowning on this. This is needed, but this is not what I mean by content. It's not you walking through your listing, pretending to be Vanna White, for those that remember, showing your house. Now again, this is needed, but when I say content, the general public doesn't care. This is to toot our own horns and to stroke the egos of all the agents in the business to show people what we're doing. You understand, you're all laughing, but again, it doesn't serve the general public. Some people might see it. I want content that's relevant, informative, and engaging. So she says, guys, use what everyone on the internet's doing already. They're screaming from the rooftops everything about themselves on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. All you have to do is look for it and then use AI to tailor your responses to that. I thought that makes a lot of sense. So coming up with content is not the problem. We're going to talk more about that. And again, we just mentioned Google Trends. Here's something I was really sad to learn. Do you know that you can go through all that hard work of working with a client, being their babysitter, or their chauffeur, or their marriage counselor, you finally sell them the house, and then they forget your name, and then you're in the grocery store and you're like, oh God, I hope they don't see me. I'm speaking from experience. I'm guilty of it. It's probably one of the reasons I'm still not an agent, is I was terrible at follow-up. How was I becoming memorable? That's the thing people fail to remember. Well, now you have a tool at your fingertips that can help you become memorable in any way you want. We're going to touch on some different ideas. First one starting, social media. I don't care what your thoughts are. I know the demographics I meet in this business range from 18 on up to Gen X to the greatest generation and more. Social media is probably the number one reason that people aren't going to succeed in this business, because guys, your product is you, your product is your house, and it has to be seen, it has to be shared. But like myself, I struggle, a lot of agents struggle. Chris, what do I say? How do I say it? What do I do? When do I do it? It's overwhelming, and every other day there's another social media that you got to remember. And I'm not saying do them all, but pick one and focus on it and leverage it. So coming up with the content and the creation of ideas is now going to be super easy, because you can literally go in there and go, I'm a realtor, I've been in the business for 30 years, I want to do this, and it will generate unlimited ideas. And I suggest you play with it and come up with it, but I've come up with some fantastic ideas just by playing around and talking to the AI. We'll do some demonstrations of that. For example, I was using loan officers the other day, just typed in a question and ChatGPT will start generating ideas for me. It helps you engage with your audience, which is going to reward you, because people are going to go, wow, this person's giving me great content or market stats, and it's going to help you get to know your audience. It's going to show your value by being authentic. It's going to help educate your clientele. Again, this is what I'm doing right here with you guys, is I'm providing value by bringing you information that you guys can learn and implement into your business. I tell agents, God, you don't have to get that serious. Tell humorous stories. Tell maybe some of your success, some lessons you've learned, and some of the best ones are mistakes you've made in the business. That house that had a ghost in it, or maybe you sold a house that burned down and they rebuilt it. I don't know. There's a million stories. People love that content. Again, it's all about staying current and relevant. So we're going to dive into more of that. I use it on my end for interactive content. Some of the biggest ones I do are polls. Had one the other day. I talked about who likes coffee, Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. It was so random and mundane. I had more people engage on that post. I thought, that's crazy. It's because people want to be heard, and by you interacting with it and answering it, people reward you. Just be consistent, guys. There's no longer excuses. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. It is all going to be here at your fingertips, and we'll do some demonstrations of that. The biggest one, everyone wants to know about market stats, market updates. Well, you guys have it now with RPR. Who's familiar with Canva? Anyone use it? I love it. I have no idea how to use it. Did you know now you can talk to ChatGPT AI and just say, hey, Canva, I need you to make me an infographic, a flyer, a Facebook,
Hold on,
Instagram.
I gotta tell Kitty that. Kitty.
Uh-oh. I'm not trying to take anyone's job, but yes, you can
Kitty.
now use AI with a conversation, talking to it. It will go out to Canva and will generate whatever you want. I just said, make me an infographic. I don't know how to make infographics, but it does. And then all I have to go is I don't like that color. I like this one. I like that one. And then click on it and Canva opens up. And all you have to do is put in the data you want. I was like, are you kidding me? So you can
I know a lot of people use Canva, but I don't know how to use it. So if I can talk to somebody to use it,
we'll
I might
do a
be all
demonstration
right.
of it, but I'm just, again, giving you the broad scope that this is one of the examples that AI is going to be taking over for you. How about this? Every topic in the world's on Wikipedia. Why don't you say this? You can pick up anything you want. Give me the top 10 suggestions for homeowner and marketing your house. I want you to then go to Canva, make a thumbnail, then I want you to use CapCut, which is the video software free from TikTok, and I want you to make a movie of it. And in a matter of 10 seconds, you can pick any topic on any suggestion, on anything you can imagine. Canva can generate the Facebook post, the thumbnail, and then the video can be made. And now you have content that you can share to your clients. And this is just a dumb example. I just used the top 10 reasons, and we've all seen these on TikTok when we're scrolling through.
Getting your home ready to sell? Here are the top 10 tips. Clean up. Make it smell nice. Fix anything.
Clearly, it's not expert production, but it's not about quality. It's about getting it out here. Here's me doing a blood drive in real time. I asked ChatGPT to create an Instagram post, and in real time, I uploaded a photo. It did all those pretty little graphics, and I had people come down from the office upstairs just based on that post. There's so many things you can do with it, and I'm like, and this is making this too easy. It's almost like
Hold on.
Sure.
I just wanted to tell Kitty.
What?
So you can now talk to Canva using AI.
Just say create a post.
All you have to do is tell the
flyer.
AI, I want you to make a flyer, a door knocker, a Facebook post. And
Not every committee, but our committees just call Kitty and say, can you make me a flyer for this to send out?
I'm not trying to take your job, but if you want people to say.
Well, she does enough stuff.
But literally, and I was telling her, like, here was an example of me just using it to make an infographic. No one knows how to do that. It will do it for you. Or you can implement Wikipedia with Canva to make a thumbnail, and then CapCut to make a video, and you can actually generate unlimited content, unlimited topics for free.
So that's the free subscription. You
Yeah.
don't-
The free subscription allows you to do all of this, but there's benefits to the paid subscription, and we can do some demonstration. Am I wowing you guys yet? Because we're not even halfway done. Here's the beauty of it. Here's the beauty of why I love it. It's great.
This is
You
what
can
my
do it.
daughter says. Mom, you should have a social media contact calendar. So
Like when to
I
post,
said,
how to
I
post.
said, I don't know what the hell
Like
to
you
post,
need
so-
more things
so
to do.
I said,
Guys, remember that.
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
We're
That
not
was my
trying to give you
answer.
more tasks. It's about saving time, overcoming the repetitive, mundane, boring crap that we deal with every day and taking that off our plate. One of the beautiful things about social media is there's all these tools. It's like, all right, what do I do? Well, now you just have to tell ChatGPT in this example or AI, so I am a realtor. I want you to please provide me a social media content calendar for the next X months. I can post on whatever platform you want. And in this example, it says, all right, Chris, on Monday do this, Tuesday do this, Wednesday do that. So now I have the content. I have my accountability, where you tell me what to do. Guys, what is your excuse? It's telling you how to do it, and you can say, simplify this, make this easier, make it more complex. You can add a takeaway. I don't want Facebook. Maybe you want to do a website, a blog. It will do it for you. How about
my excuse is my head's about ready to explode.
I am not even
Yeah.
scratching the
Yeah.
surface.
Yeah.
This is why I put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just trying to get you guys to start thinking of where the world's going. People are using it for lead generation now, prospecting. Instead of paying Zillow or putting out Facebook ads and things like that, they're generating personalized email. If you're still emailing out there, imagine now you have the ability to send out market analysis and write a blog or generate content that you used to pay a service provider for. Buffini sending you your newsletters or your items of value. You can just ask it now to make the newsletter for you on any topic, on any conversation, anything you want for free. And then you can just have Canva make the flyer for you. And you don't have to pay someone for it. So there you save money. Here was just an example. Maybe you just want to come up with a reason to, using a mortgage broker. I was talking to a mortgage broker class. Any topic you guys can imagine. The third thing after social media is YouTube. Guys, I don't know who's comfortable here on video, and I hear it all the time. I'm not on video. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. YouTube obviously is owned by Google. It's the second most visited site on the planet. If you're not using YouTube, again, you're missing out on a whole opportunity to build your business. A lot of agents that use this now, and I was astounded by the fact that there's over 500 hours of footage uploaded to YouTube every 60 seconds. Everyone uses it. Everyone knows what it is. But what if you're the person that maybe starts taking AI and generating content like advice or tips and explaining to people? Maybe you get the same 5 questions every time. What is closing costs? What are interest rates? What's a down payment? What's a title company? What's title insurance? And you answer them on a video and you have them. So anytime a buyer asks you, boom, the value goes out. Or a seller, same thing. It's so easy to do now with AI. Talk about specific neighborhoods. Maybe trends. You can have polls, surveys, feedback, FAQs, events you're doing. A lot of agents in Baltimore do this with neighborhood specifics because it's all about being hyper market location. And maybe you want to talk about restaurants in your area or trends. I don't know your market, but this may or may not be something insight. But I know when people go to Baltimore and they're Googling it, the agent I am familiar with has all his YouTube videos pop up. And anytime anyone watches it, his name is rewarded and he's now being found as the agent of choice. Again, it's just an idea. Using it to create polls and surveys. We talked about that, FAQs, doing specific neighborhood insights. Maybe you do a video on your particular neighborhood, talk about the schools and the crimes. I mean, things that you can send out in text. Maybe if you're the person that puts their face with the data, you're not going to be recognized. I mean, you're realtors. You're supposed to be the face of the transaction. How are people finding you? What's setting you apart? Maybe this is what you do. You take the AI to go out to the internet and bring that data in and you promote it. So here's where it comes down to the conversation I have a lot. Chris, I love all this and I want to get out there and I want to do video, but I'm just not comfortable yet. I've never been familiar on camera. I always say stop. It's all about being real. The world does not care what you look like. I always use the example, if you go out to a restaurant, none of you in this room will go to your family member or friends and go, I don't want to sit at the table with you. I don't like the way your hair looks. You ever told your friend or family member, your voice is annoying. I don't want to sit there. So why are you doing that to yourself? Because guess what? You're going to be disappointed. You're all ever thinking about what people are judging you by and thinking, and I get this in all age groups. No one's thinking about you. It's almost kind of sad to think that they're thinking about their own selves. It's all about being real. But I understand. It's sometimes hard to overcome that. So I like to think, well, what if you were to give like a day in the life of a loan officer or a day in the life of a realtor? People would eat this up. The person that does this and the people that are doing it, people love it. Because as you know, the world, friends think you're a partier. Your mom thinks you're always in meetings. You customers think you're rich. We herd cats because that's what we do. Society thinks we're shysters and what we really do. Well, what if you were able to convey using AI and social media and video to your heart what you really do? So I thought, I'm going to see if I can take this to the next level. What if I could generate an AI avatar of myself? Now, I'm not shy. I don't have a problem being on camera, but I thought it'd be kind of cool. So I had AI generate me a fine-looking gentleman here with a nice suit on, and I thought, okay, that's all fine and dandy. What if I can make him talk?
Hello, and thank you for taking a moment to visit.
Imagine this, you take a listing and you say, Mr. Seller, I just want to let you know I've done this SEO blog post, Instagram, and I said, oh, by the way, I have a website here with my AI avatar, and it happens to look like me, not this guy, and start talking. The seller's going to go, what? And I thought, yeah, that's too gimmicky, that's too cartoony. I then went to another service provider called Midjourney. I pay $5 a month, and I said, I want you to make me a realtor that's better looking. That is not a real person, but this is where the technology is, and this is a year old. So you can generate real lifelike avatars of yourself, of individuals, and I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. Can I make him talk?
I am the greatest realtor of all time.
Still gimmicky, still weird, but at the same time, when I've been teaching this class, I like to keep it in here. It reminds me of where we come from. So I said, all right, that's cool and all that, but let's take it up. I need a better looking guy. Oh, there we go. Let's go ahead and see if I can take a still photo from my room. I'm actually in my office, and I thought,
I can create unlimited videos, personifying each property listing.
Weird, kind of creepy. You can take a still photo of anyone and replicate it, and this was the website I used it for, and I'm like, okay, that's clearly not my voice, but it was demonstrating a point. This is where it gets strange. This site, and I'll show you after we're done, is called HeyGen, HeyGen.com is the de facto standard in video generating avatars. And this was last year's model, and I can tell you what they're doing now.
What
This,
was that?
H-E-Y, like hey, and gen, like next gen. And again, I'll send these slides out. HeyGen said, Chris, you can create an avatar of yourself. We need you to do one thing. We need you to record about 60 seconds. I need you to sit in front of a comfortable camera. Don't wave your hands in front of your face. Don't make any wild gestures, and talk about whatever you want to talk about. And I happened to just talk about my son's basketball game that day. And then it said, okay, we're done. And I went, what? And I said, what happens then? He goes, well, what do you want me to say? I can say anything you want. Just type into a box. I'm like, wait a minute. I recorded 60 seconds and now I never have to be on camera again. I can have it say whatever I want. Ain't no way. This is not me.
This is not me speaking. This is an avatar created using 2 minutes of video footage I uploaded. This allows me to create
My eyes,
videos of content.
lips,
I can
my
change
voice,
the language or
not
tone
me.
of my avatar. This will only get better.
That to me blew me away because I go, okay, AI used it to
I'm gonna get it.
put my leg. But then I said, no one's going to believe me when I show this. They're just going to think I'm making the story up. So I took it on for a disclaimer. I do not speak Spanish. But would you be able to tell? I took AI to generate a comment, and I translated AI to Spanish because, by the way, it does that. It can translate in any language, convert. I now thought, oh my God, I have a demographic of people I can now market to in my services that I never had access to. Matter of fact, I can market to any point on the planet because it speaks any language. So I took that, pasted it back into HeyGen and said, all right, I want to speak Spanish.
Buenos días y bienvenidos a mi presentación sobre inteligencia artificial.
Welcome to the
Me
future.
gustaría hacer una demostración del poder de la IA. Este es mi avatar, influencia hablante,
Looks like I'm talking Spanish.
que utilicé inteligencia artificial para generar y crear este video.
Every time I show this, that's exactly the reaction I get. And guys, last week they just came out with the feature now. You don't have to be mobile. You can walk around. It will generate your arms. I will be talking. So I filmed one video of 2 minutes, and it now for the paid version, it's even better. And it will actually allow you to generate unlimited content for you to put on any topic in any language. You can have an Irish accent with an Indian tone, or an English accent with a Russian tone, and it's like, oh my gosh. And then you can generate yourself, so you no longer have an excuse to be on camera. You can pick the best version of you, AI enhance it, because AI headshots are a thing. AI virtual staging is a thing. This is where we're at. So that's the website, by the way. HeyGen, if you're interested. That allowed me to do that for free. What they do now, I don't know. I don't know the cost, but if you're interested in visiting, I'm just demonstrating to you. Next topic is short form video, guys. This is again part of the social media aspect. Everyone's used to walking around, everyone's looking at their phone, everyone's got their head down. If you have anyone under 25, everybody's watching social media, and we're all guilty of it in the room. Why? Because it generates more eyeballs and it's easier to share. And the messages, remember, because they're digestible, they're shareable, they're spontaneous. Guys, currency right now is attention, and how are you getting attention? Well, people are using AI. This is where I was astounded. This is not ChatGPT, this is an app called Captions, and I liked it because if you are putting social media out there, one of two things. One, it will translate what you're saying and put the captions on there, hence the name, but this feature alone is worth it, and I'll show you what I mean about that.
So what's funny about this video is that I'm actually staring at a script and reading from a script, but a neural network makes it look as if I'm looking at the camera. And also the captions that you see here were not done by my editor. They were done by a neural network. It's just amazing how the world is changing with AI. All you have to do is upload a video where you're reading from a script. The app is called Captions, and it has this feature where it makes you look at the camera. Isn't that exciting?
So now you can use AI to generate any content as we've been talking about, and you can literally read from a script over here, and then the AI makes you look at the crowd, and now you look like a professional expert. Isn't that amazing? And that's $9.99 a month, because I do have that. If you do consider putting videos out there, there are even services that will take your long videos. Maybe you have like an hour YouTube, or you record, like I'll be recording this class. I can take this class, upload it to a site like Video AI or Munch or Opus Clips, and it will parse it out and divide it up into multiple small short videos, put the transcripts on it, and then rank it by viralability, and then I can share this out. So that's huge if you're looking to grow your video or my presence. How about advertising? Are you guys right now paying someone for SEO or content creation? You can now have ChatGPT. This is going to be where it's going to be in the future, where you have websites, the chatbot will respond as if it's you, sound like you, look like you, talk like you, know everything about you, and talk to the client, set the appointment, filter out the quality candidates, and then you only are responsible for what you do best, which is interacting directly with the client. create educational content. A lot of people are using it now to respond to clients in real time, but if they don't know what to say, you can use the AI to do it. A lot of people are hosting webinars and they're generating the content online and having a mock host do it or their avatar. I think this is astounding. You used to pay thousands of dollars to get SEO ranked keyword optimization words for your blog or maybe your newsletter or your Instagram ads or whatever you're doing to generate business. Well, that's out the door because now you just ask ChatGPT and here's an example. It'll generate the content for you for free that you now can use to market and send out your information. Email marketing, another big program people use it for. I know that I'm not a fan of email, but it's still relevant. How do you get people to open up their emails in what are open rates, less than 1%? Well, people that I've been talking to are using this to generate personalized content or captivating headlines with call to actions are getting upwards of 5% open rates. That's huge in that world. So if you are using email, ChatGPT and AI can do it for you to make people say, oh, that's intriguing, because you're not sitting there trying to figure out it. AI can generate it for you. And this was just me giving an example of some tips you could talk about to open an email. How about scripts? I thought this was interesting. I know when I learned in this business, how did I learn how to handle objections? Well, it's usually going out into the fire, making a fool of yourself and trying to talk to a seller and realizing, oh my gosh, that was terrible. I didn't get the listing. And then YouTube started to come out and we were reading Daniel Kennedy and Tommy Hopkins and all the books back in the day that showed you how to become a good agent. Well, now guys, you can write into ChatGPT, tell it to create a script. In this example, I have a difficult seller that's refusing to consider a price reduction. Well, what do I do in that situation? Well, AI will happily generate the context of the conversation so that instead of practicing with that real person and having them bite my head off, you can have it generate a real life conversation with summary of key points, exact examples of what they would say and how you could respond. And then you can tweak it. I don't like that. That's too mean. I want you to be more rude. I want you to be funny. And you can practice on any topic. You can use this with your spouse, your children, anything you can think of. It can generate context and create scripts. Maybe you want to work with FSBOs. Maybe you don't know what to say during your open house. Maybe you want to figure out how to talk to first-time home buyers or luxury clients. Maybe you want to get client testimonials, but you don't know how to ask. All you have to do is ask the AI and it'll do it for you. A lot of people pay for coaching. Well, now, if you can get items of value, ideas, real estate advice, how to talk to Kelly, why are you paying for a coach when you have a free coach, if you have the free version? But my favorite is the ability to take text and copy text into it and then translate them. And ChatGPT has no problem interpreting, translating, summarizing, clarifying. I use it for my middle schooler because they speak an entirely different language. And everyone here laughing because middle schoolers, mine's 14, have an entire language unto their own. So I used to give me the top 10 language. He gets annoyed by it, but when I show him this, he gets a kick out of it. But my wife is Polish. She thinks I speak Polish. I have no idea how to speak Polish, but she doesn't know because I just copy and paste it right into ChatGPT and have it interpret it. But maybe you're dealing with a difficult client, maybe you're dealing with a difficult agent, and you get the responses. You don't know what to say, but you kind of do. Well, you can literally copy it in your email program or into ChatGPT and have it respond. Be more curt, be more professional, be more understanding, and it will do it for you. It's simply astounding that people aren't doing this.
I need that on every response of anything I ever do, don't I?
You can save a relationship. Here's where it gets good. This is why you want to consider the paid version. Did you know that you can upload any document, PDF, file format, Word document, PowerPoint, I don't care what it is. If it's a digital file, you can upload it into the AI and talk to it. And when I say talk to it, you can ask it questions, manipulate it. And because it understands everything about everything, I use the example of the residential contract of sale. I uploaded the mail and residential contract of sale, and I asked it to explain the difference between closing call or mediation and litigation. And I said, well, then explain to me what time is of the essence and what does it mean, but talk to me like a sixth grader. And it did it. And I said, I need you to tell me what are the settlement cost responsibilities for sellers in Maryland. Guys, it doesn't matter. It's a document that you can now, and the size of the documents are getting astronomical. Before you could only put a certain amount. Now you can send documents. I used it to upload a home inspection report. And I sent a 66-page home inspection report. I said, tell me the items of concern I need to put on the pin. And it analyzed and gave me the items of concern without me having to read it. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You know how much time that saved me? And then I took an Excel spreadsheet of a multiple offer situation that I have on my uncle's house. I uploaded the Excel spreadsheet and I said, which offer should I take? It analyzed the price, the concessions, the type of loan, where the loan was coming from, the agent, and said, this is the offer that's most likely to net sell the most money. Boof. That took seconds. Again, giving you ideas. You can upload images. of anything. You take a picture of something, you can scream from the internet, and you throw it into the AI, and the AI will tell you what you're looking at, and I can give you some examples in a minute. You could upload audio transcription, and it will transcribe it for you. So if you have voice memos, notes, voice recordings, it will do that for you. I use this example of my multiple officer situation. Maybe you want to research your competition. A lot of agents are doing this when they're going on listing appointments and they know who they're up against. AI will tell you what the person's strengths are, what their weaknesses are, how their strong suits, how they sell, and then combat it with scripts on you know what to say to make you look like the agent they want to work with. And it's almost like a cheat code. Consider that. How about this? You can generate images. Everything you've been watching has all been generated by AI. I'm not even scratching the surface on how good this is getting. This is just some examples. If you can think of it and talk about it, it will make it for you. I just made some images of an overworked, stressed out realtor. It's getting so much better now. This is me just going, oh my gosh, this is Google and what's coming down the road. All of us right now have Google on our phone probably, but Google Assistant, their version of Siri, this is a live demonstration of a real close point in the future of what AI is going to be like on how our daily lives are.
For example, let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon.
We're almost done.
What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
That's the CEO of Google.
Oh, how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like, what service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now? Okay, we have it 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa? Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks, great. Have a great day, bye.
Do you think that woman knew that she was talking to AI? So this is going to be you guys. You're going to go, I need you to write the offer, put in the addendum. I need you to schedule the appointment. I need you to locate the buyer. I need you to get the car to come bring me. I mean, it's just going to be you talking to your phone, and it's just, it blows my mind. It's exciting but terrifying at the same time.
And she's thinking, I'm going to get a good tip that day.
I know.
because She's got an assistant
I
making her
know.
calls.
I mean, guys, we already have Amazon Alexas in our house. We're using Netflix and Spotify for recommendations. We have a Siri on our phone. AI has been prevalent. It's just now coming to fruition and being brought together. Sorry, she's trying to listen to me right now. But now, and I'm going to talk about it, but I'll demo it at the end. For those of you that have an iPhone or an Android, there is a ChatGPT dedicated app that's for free, and I want to make sure you have the right one because a lot of people go out and pay for the app. The app is free, but if you want the account, you can use the free version, you can pay for it. But one of the things I love about it is you can use it using ChatGPT Vision. You can take a picture of anything. It will interpret it. Can I park here? No problem. It'll analyze the sign and tell you. You want to know math problems for your kid learning Common Core math, or you're just trying to figure out a tip. You want translations. You want to know what the hell am I looking at? You can take a picture of it. Go to dinner. You're like, that dish looks really good. What are you eating? I have no idea. Take a picture of it. AI will analyze it, tell you the ingredients, and if you want, go out to Instacart and buy the ingredients. You can open up your refrigerator, take a picture of your refrigerator. It will identify what's in your fridge, what you have, and say, based on what you saw, can you make me dinner tonight? It will tell you how to do it. And I have tested that. It is astounding. This is one of the free versions. You can take a picture of items. This was me at a Mexican restaurant. I didn't know what I was looking at. It will simply analyze it and tell you. Maybe you're looking at a magazine, you see a mountain range, you're like, I want to visit that, but you don't know where it is. Take a picture of it. It'll tell you, based on what you're looking at, this is it. You're looking at a room and you want decorating tips. You take a picture of it. It'll tell you the room, what it's looking at, and give you suggestions. It also can talk to you, and this is where you can have a little fun. It's also scary because built into the app is ChatGPT voice, where you can actually pick one of 5 voices and have conversations. I have spoken to this thing more than my own family. I'll be driving down the car, getting ideas and conversations. It is astounding how realistic it is. And the real problem that people are facing now are there are companies and apps that are generating AI avatars using large language models and this voice interaction, creating love interest for people. You got someone that knows your love, what you like, how you like to be spoken to, what your fears are, and people are falling in love. And I've been listening to these podcasts with AI. They made a movie called Her with Joaquin Phoenix. Guys, we can laugh, but when you have something that talks to you the way you want to be talked to, it's everything about you. It is astounding. People are using it because it's private, it's comfortable, it's secure. People are using it for marital advice, therapy. I'm guilty of this. I get parenting advice, I get legal advice. I'm not saying I'm going to make this my attorney, but sometimes you just want to question, you want to, I already talked about it. It is crazy. We can do some demonstrations, but if you have the paid version and you have the app, I will show you how to do this. It's crazy. Generative voice, this is where we're at in the world now. 11 Labs just happens to be the most prevalent company now that generates the most voice, but now you can upload your voice for a fee, and from your voice you can generate unlimited content that sounds like you, is indistinguishable, and you can generate as much as you want on any topic you want. So if you're not comfortable on camera and you just want to be able to record your voice one time and then put out content with you maybe doing voice overlays, maybe doing narrations on your listings, maybe you want to teach classes. This is unbelievable the way that there's every language on the planet, plus you can do it yourself.
Thank you for coming to my presentation
that's just
today.
An example.
I'm super excited to teach you guys about artificial intelligence and in particular ChatGPT.
Can't tell if it's real or not. And I can speed it up, I can slow it down. I do want to bring in Google's version of AI. It used to be called Bard, it's now called Gemini. And the reason is Google's power was like, wait a minute, we're not going to sit by idly while this ChatGPT comes in and takes and eats our lunch. The power with Google is they have all the benefit of the fact that they own Gmail, YouTube, Google Maps, Google Drive, everything that's Google services that we all probably have. Anything that has to do with Google, you can now go into Gemini and interact directly with it. Maybe you're looking for an email with your kid about that yearbook. Maybe you're going on a vacation and you want use Google Flights, Google Maps, Google Apps. It's all incorporated now. You can ask and interact. You can reference a video you saw last week with a recipe and you can't remember the exact amount of the recipe, but you want to know how many eggs. It'll know that because it's all incorporated. They are going to be game changing, and if you want to play with it, there's pros and cons to each, but they have free versions and they have paid tier versions, so that is definitely important. Let's see, this was an example that I used with an agent the other day. I went to Bright and I pulled up some tax records from Bright based on a particular neighborhood, and I made sure the deed record date was in there, and the agent wanted to know who in the neighborhood was most likely to list so that he could reach out to them and solicit them for business. And he basically, I just exported a CMA view into a PDF, and just like I told you earlier, you can upload that PDF into the AI and then just ask it questions. Which ones have this kind of bedrooms? Which ones have this one? Oh, by the way, based on the deed record date and the equity in the property, who's the seller most likely to list? You could do this manually, but there are services now that use predictive analytics that are now going to be able to determine this data, because it's all data, but it can interpret it and talk to you like a human. People that are using this now are going to be able to set themselves apart, because you're going to have the access. You all have the data. You can now just export it, upload it into ChatGPT or AI and have it interpret it. So here's my man. This is a question a lot of people say, Chris, all this stuff is great. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where to begin. What's the purpose of even learning now? Am I going to be relevant? And this is his take on whether realtors or not.
It's a question I get all the time. And in my opinion, the answer is, of course, yes. Not just because I'm biased, but I think about it this way. No different from a robot that might be able to perform the surgery a little bit better or be a little more precise than the actual surgeon. The surgeon is going to be there to make sure that everything is right. That could be the role of a real estate professional 30 or 40 years from now, where maybe AI and a robot is doing a lot of the mundane tasks, the sort of industrialization of a real estate transaction. Maybe that's not going to be done by you anymore. But what is going to be done by you is the conversations with the client, right? It's the guiding of the customer. It's looking into their eyes and seeing their emotion and making sure that you have the empathy and the ability to connect with them and help them make good decisions. The actual sausage making of the transaction, you're not going to be involved with. All that's going to be gone. It's going to be you and the client, and that is always going to be our place.
I think that's true. I just want to touch on one more last thing. This is a site, I cannot believe how many people are talking about this. This is Perplexity AI. Essentially, the way to describe it is Google with AI built into it. As we all know, Apple has not been really big on the AI game yet because Just like with anything, Apple doesn't say anything until they're ready to take over a market, like they've done with everything. This is allegedly the site they're going to be acquiring and incorporating into Siri. So if you can play along with this for free. When you do searches on Perplexity, not only does it give you context, but it gives you references in search, and it uses AI. It's simply astounding. And I think everyone that has played with this and used this has loved it and raved about it. And I don't care what you're searching, check out Perplexity, because I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware about it. Another one I keep hearing everyone in real estate talk about is Real Reports. Similar to RPR, this takes it a next step further in generating property and data and predictive analytics on information that you need, and generating real reports that you can share with your clients. Not free, but I've heard multiple high-end teams talk about this and how they absolutely love it. I'm not going to go too much in today, but this will be on the slides if you want. But one thing I want to talk about with ChatGPT, especially with the pay version, is not only does it remember everything about you, one of the beautiful things it can do is what are called custom instructions. You can literally tell the AI who you are, what you're about, what your business is about, what you love, what you don't like, and then you can have it respond how you want it to respond. Do you want it to be funny, professional, anything you want? And once you do that, then everything you ask from this point forward will be way more relevant, way more specific, and way more beneficial. And for you just to get on there and go, give me a listing description, it will do that. But when it knows you're an agent, how long you've been in the business, and who you work for, what your clientele is, that's where the power comes in. And this is one of the things I want to talk about. Is this prompt here, you don't have to write this down, I'll send this out to you, was I got from an agent that was talking about this when he was teaching class. This prompt here basically generated a list of questions that I took those questions and I went back and I pasted it into, I think, a Google Doc, and I answered those questions. You know, what services do I provide? What geographical areas do I work with? What social media I use? It took me about 15 minutes, and I answered those questions, and I went back to ChatGPT and I pasted my responses. So now the AI knows everything about me very specifically, and now when I ask it a question, it's unbelievable the responses I get from it. And I took an active server. These were some of the examples of the questions. I then took my answers to the questions and I pasted them into the AI, and then I said, okay, using this prompt, generate a list of 90 lesser known facts about my business that I can use to market for social media. So now I've got this plethora of content and ideas that gave me things as a title agent I could talk about, which has led me to where I am today teaching this class on ideas that people are looking up. So now any day I can come up and go, maybe I want to talk about title company misconceptions or economic impact. You guys do this with your business in your specific genre using that prompt, you're going to have more content than you'll ever need to generate. And again, if you want, you can take it one step further and have it generate the actual calendar and content, again, using that prompt, and I'll send those out to you so you can get it. If you're even more in depth, you can generate a persona of the specific type of clientele you want to work for. Mine just happened to be tech savvy realtor, 30 to 45, you know, brokerage in Anne Arundel County. That was my profile because that's where I operate. But if you want, let's see, this is what I was talking about, custom instructions. I'll do a demonstration. Here's what how you want it to know about you and how you want it to respond. So rounding out, this is one fun one that I liked. I know that we all have done Microsoft Word mail merges with labels, and you take one address and you take all your CRM database and you output it and it prints out all the labels. Now you can do it with video.
We just found a great AI tool for you realtors, especially if you focus on your sphere of influence. There's a ton of uses for what I'm about to show you. So it is called BeHuman.ai. And check this out. You shoot one video, one time. Hey John, it's Andrew. I wanted to invite you to my client event. And then of course, you know, anything else that you would generally say in that video. Then here's the really cool part. You upload a CSV file, or of course you can type them in manually if you would like, their name and their email address, or however you want to get in touch with them. And you upload it to the system and hit submit. What this is going to do is it is actually going to manipulate the video to change your words and your voice itself. It's going to be in your voice, and change the name. Instead of hey John, it'll be hey Steve, hey Jessica, hey whatever the names are that you put in that list. And then it's going to send that customized video to them. So you can blast this out to your entire database and have it be personalized.
So it's like Bomb Video with MailVerge. Guys, see the power of that and the time that's going to save you? I just thought that was incredible. This is just one example, and I won't watch the video. This is what a lot of mortgage companies are doing now, and this will be where real estate, where AI is actually making the phone calls for you and pre-qualifying the buyers. Imagine the time you could save. So I'll just give you a brief example.
Is protected from AI. Listen to this AI sales rep cold call a prospect. This is using Air AI, a platform that claims it can do 10 to 40 minute conversations using natural language and an AI robot. This AI sales rep is able to cold call a prospect and turn them into a qualified lead on the phone.
Hey James.
I'm not into man.
Yeah, no worries. I hate calls out of the blue too. But I'm actually from Apple, and I saw you were checking out Vision Pro and were about to pre-order but left the page.
Yeah,
I was curious, what had you looking into potential? Okay, I can respect that. Can I just ask one question before you go?
Fine, shoot. What's up?
Why did you?
So that goes on and
Why
ends
did
up
you
qualifying the guy and getting the lead. So I just thought, can you imagine the time where you don't have to talk on the phone to qualify? By the way, that's the end. This is, if you're interested, you can scan the QR code. That's going to take you to my Google Docs page. Jimmy Burgess, the guy that was talking to RPR, the bald guy with the glasses, he has a list of 40 prompts specific to real estate. And anyone that takes the link, I'm happy to send the link out directly. But if you're sitting here, this will take you to those prompts that you can use on anything in your real estate business. And I thought, that's free, so I stole that from him. And I took that. But guys, I wanted to do a demonstration. I'm going to turn off the camera now so we don't have to film anymore. I wanted to answer some questions and then do some demonstration.